real. Trash. Hate trash. Oh, good pass.
Hey guys, it's
Oh,
TG. Yeah, bring it from the bottom. You're locked in for another edition of Good Got Your Entertainment. Always across the screen, Cam's corner, Cam Taylor with the delusional corner, and then you got beside me the man with the plan, MPG Marcus Ojalayo, and I'm your host today, TG. Marquez Goode is the real name, but we got a lot to talk about. And first, as we always do, how the hell are y'all feeling? I mean, COVID's kind of opening its doors. We want to go outside, and then some of us say, "Hell no, I'm staying in." But Cam, I've got to ask you first, whichever. How you feeling? We here one more week, and just think about. I'm gonna give you a little bit of snippet of things that a year ago today, and I had to do this. A year ago today, we were dropping sports like it was high. We remember Chris Paul and the guys about to take the court in their game a year ago today, and they were like, nope, cancel, too much COVID. COVID,
too
COVID,
much
COVID,
COVID.
cancel, cancel. And every league from that night forth, before we get into how y'all feeling, that right there shook the sports world for approximately another 5 to 6 months after that, before they finally got to some kind of reasoning to play. But for now, around this time last year, we were all looking like Cam's looking. We had hands on our head, all of us, and that was a response. Because I mean, I even talked to ESPN producers, and I actually do know quite a few. They didn't know what the hell to write about because it was just that much. And you just like, we never been in times like this before. What do you write about? And they were like, we just drug stuff. We just kept dragging stories along
Yeah.
just to money. You were surviving. We still are. But Cam, how you feeling? I see you with your hands on your head. I don't know a dance move or what, but I mean TikTok's all over the place, so you could be. But how you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm not gonna lie to you. These past 2 days have been 75 plus outside, and I have enjoyed being outside. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't doing anything, but just the fact that I was able to actually be out in warm weather and just be able to enjoy nature as a whole was just it was great. I'm looking forward to tomorrow doing the same thing, just being outside, reading, just enjoying life, bro.
Well, since you enjoying life, I was on the better side of things. I was writing the research paper. Don't ask me that. And it got so bored that I was sitting here watching TV. I said, damn that, I gotta mute that, and I gotta focus. And then I went and did what? Take a nap, a power
Mm.
nap. And I came out of that nap and then I went outside and I drove around. And it was beautiful listening to Brent Fayez. But I mean, I'm just saying, nobody knows about what Brent Fayez. I had to bump his and the people run the city and do what they got to do. But that's the bottom line of it is. That's just the main thing. But let me go to you, MPG. Before I get to talking about my NBA, NFL, and I got some stuff to talk about. Yeah, I'm getting disrespectful. Somebody go find Stan. Somebody go find Wade. Somebody go find all them damn Cowboy fans because I got something for you, and we ain't even got started yet in the first 3 minutes. But MPG, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, it's been a beautiful week, warm weather,
Mm.
just relaxing, vibing, listening to music, all that good stuff that people can just enjoy as a whole.
Yeah, we enjoying it as a whole because I mean, well, enjoy it while it lasts because we got a couple more days of warm weather and it looks like I'm not no meteorologist, but it looks like it's going to be rain and 55-degree weather towards the other end of the week, and that's not gonna definitely coming into next week, and we all know how that is. That's a damper on everybody's spirit with this COVID stuff, kind of opening doors. Speaking of opening doors, certain arenas and staff and stuff like that are opening up to 30%. We talked about that briefly, but some of the restrictions are being lifted. Um, as you can go and enjoy as you please now, almost, but still social distancing and masks. And even if people got the vaccine, they're urging that they can go out without masks. But hell, people will do as they choose anyway. But let's get into the main squeeze, the NFL topics. and it's time for breakdown. And we got a lot of things to break down today, but let's first get into it. This thing got to do about NFL, but it could damage. Cam says earlier when I talked to him that it's not going to damage for right now. But the CFL, XFL are thinking of a possibility. We all know Dwayne Rock Johnson took over XFL with some other partners and company. And one thing is the XFL and CFL has a potential to lock arms together and create one force, which most people and most leagues should do instead of making these bogus leagues, as we know we've heard from some arena folks today. But and they're bogus and what's going on there. Why the hell can we not lock arms and say let's join? We like everything else. We got to go to war. And instead of locking arms with somebody, damn it, you're not the NFL, so who are you? I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, everybody can make a ring and a championship. But I mean, if you ain't got the money, I don't want to talk. And that's what people are basically saying. They shouldn't have to get a second term job or a second job after playing football. Have to go to a 9 to 5. You should be able to play one sport, and if you're good at it, do what you got to do. But Cam, what you thinking about this merge? I mean, XFL at one point it looked promising, and then 5 weeks later, because games, it went down the drain. CFL kind of old. We know about it. They're still doing what they do with certain teams, but they're still not getting the support because with COVID and stuff around, everybody's locked in on either NFL, NBA, and the seasons are so tight that other leagues like them, they don't get the hype that they would used to get back in the day when the NFL started lacking. You saw the CFL come out and everybody's like, oh, we got to alternate the football. Football's not on. We got that little dead period in between football and basketball. We can go get into that. And then the NBA gets hot. See it? And then XFL, we know what they were about back in the day. And then when they came out second term, and they folded 2 times. I mean, but now we kind of go 3 times the luck. Did we give somebody 3 times the fold? Will they fold this time? And can the Rock and company keep it up? What you think, Ken?
Well, I believe that the merger between the Canadian Football League and the XFL will actually be very beneficial for both leagues as a whole. It brings in a whole nother revenue stream across country borders. You know, you're talking about Canada. Now you're bringing in the American economy, so that's a plus. It gives athletes a better opportunity to get exposed in regards to possibly moving up towards the NFL or possibly moving up in the ranks within the CFL and XFL, whatever, however they decide to call it. You know, I just hope that this doesn't pan out to be like the AAL. I don't know if y'all remember that, the American Alliance League or whatever it was called, or whatever it was called, when they basically went bankrupt because they had put all this money into players and the teams and the facilities, and then boom, at the end of the season, they had nothing to show for it, literally nothing. So I'm hoping that this isn't like a repeat of what we saw in the past, but I'm kind of looking forward to actually seeing something other than the NFL, because you never know what these other like players have to offer. You know, like the NFL is kind of like stuck in their ways to an extent in regards to what they're looking for. But now you get like a different idea, different things brought to the table from different players because of different coaches. So now we get to see a more elaborate type of game compared to just all offense, all defense, NFL. You know, so that's my take. I'm excited. What about you, Marcus?
Comment up for you because a viewer, as a good friend of yours, said this comment.
Brett, what's up, my guy?
Holding that comment in. We do flash them throughout the show, so if you got something to say and you don't want TG to say it, just type it. But Marcus, this thing right here, man. You got the NFL, so big. You got the XFL. I was a DC Defender. Cam, I'm not gonna lie. I went to the DC Defender. I was all in my behind. I was ready to get gear. I was ready. I was like, DC Defenders show up every week. DC, I don't even know nothing about him. I don't know if he works on the team. Without like DC, and then I'm like, soon I'm about to order my shirt. Talking about the website's not available. What? You can't do that to me. PG. The website's not even available. What the hell is that? And then talking about the league folder. What the hell is that? This ain't no semi-pro arena league. This ain't this ain't what Greg said it was. There's none of that. But I mean, I wish y'all could have seen what happened with Greg, but we'll get later into that.
That's a different story from another day.
It's an inside just between me and Cam. But Marcus, how do you feel the CFL and XFL, like you said, Canada, matching with an American organization? Even though we're allies with them, hell, we're on the same land, just a border between me and you. But we putting the more alliance with Canada. How do you feel this partnership with pan out?
I think it will be very interesting to look at, or just fully see it from a analyst perspective, and also as a fan of football perspective, because when the XFL was being captured, like those years when it started airing on TV and people started getting interested, excited, and everything else, it was to the point where with the XFL, it just gotten a much better atmosphere, other than just talking about the NFL and college football and all the key pieces and all the key factors that plays along with it. So I just think with the XFL and also with the Canadian Football League, I just think it brings a much better interest for not only for all four of us as a GGE staff, but also others that's been watching football, a fan of football, and just give a much better fun and excitement perspective on things that interest them and stuff that they never like witnessed before.
No, definitely not with this before. But one thing I would say, people that are watching, like and share. You see it at the bottom, just do it. It only takes a few seconds. I mean, I'm just promising. But I mean, another thing is I want to talk about is franchise tagging. And this thing right here, boy, oh boy, it's one of those things that we talk about every year. And Cam say, what Cam, tell me a little bit about what the hell is a franchise tag in the first place.
Basically, when you don't want to pay your player the the big amount that they want to pay, it's another way just for you to save money. It's like a 1 year deal. That's all it really is. I mean, you will pay them. Don't get me wrong; they're getting paid, but it's not what the player themselves are looking for financially. So franchise tagging can be beneficial, and in the long run, it still could hurt your team because the player doesn't have to sign the franchise tender. Like you can say, "Oh yeah, we're franchise tagging you," and that player just may say, "Well, you know what? I'm testing the market. I appreciate you guys, but I want to make some money." So it just really depends on the situation, depends on the team, and it depends on the player.
It definitely does that. And I'll talk about a few right here. Franchise tagging. I know we got a lot going on in the league, and I might have missed a few. But the main deal for this show, the Bucks franchise tagging Chris Godwin the other day. And on top of that, another key piece to a puzzle, and that's in Green Bay and Wisconsin. Aaron Jones, not Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones and the Packers have not came to a franchise tag, and damn sure haven't even came to terms yet. I don't know what the hell's going on in Green Bay. But if they want a successful season, and what they have eliminated was one issue was with the running back, and they found a running back, even though he may not be the best of all. But this guy right here eliminates the stress of Aaron Rodgers that has throughout the season. And I know that he plays a little bit smoother, but Green Bay has until I think March 17th. So get on the board if you want to get him. Because if somebody else catches an opportunity like that, I guarantee Aaron Jones can go somewhere and play ball. I mean, obviously, he's going to. He came from okay, we know you, but then you went to Green Bay and showed off, and then Green Bay's like, I don't know. Green Bay's stuck in their own ways. I'm a Packers fan, but hey, you got to say what's due. And another thing, Chris Godwin. And no, Cam. I don't even want to talk about him. My thing is, Cam, and then you know how mad and how pissed off I am about this situation. Why in the hell are they franchise tagging offensive linemen? I mean, these guys can go up there like anybody else and get hurt. Don't get me wrong. And if they don't block, the game is over. I understand all that. I damn that. But one thing I don't understand, and Cam got an ear for earlier, about 2 hours worth, but the bitterness of the fact of the matter is that I see offensive tackles, they have so many of them. I mean, God, you can go out your backyard. I can go in my apartment complex and tell you how many offensive linemen I probably got in here. But that's the better of the difference. Why the hell are offensive linemen getting franchise tag? Can you even tell me that?
Because offensive linemen are expendable nowadays. It's not necessarily having the best offensive linemen at their respective positions. It's more of having the right personnel on your team that fits your scheme. That also like they have that those offensive linemen have a great chemistry together. For example, I don't know how much college football that y'all guys watch, but Coastal Carolina they had one of the smallest offensive lines in the league, like in the nation as a whole, but yet had one of the best offensive lines in college football. One of the smallest. I think their center was like 5'10". Their center was 5'10". Compared to if you look at Alabama, that offensive line they stand at least 6'6", 6'7". Those are big boys. But it just depends on the chemistry.
What?
You said who?
Who the name you said?
Alabama's offensive linemen, bro.
Stephen A.
They're all like they're all
Alabama. Put some respect on their name.
I'm putting no respect on them.
That's disrespectful. You Clemson, you Clemson tiger, you delusional corner. I'm tired, Cam. Keep going.
I'm tired. Keep going. No, but like seriously, like the offensive linemen now are becoming an expendable position because you can draft an offensive lineman. Like think about it. Why would you pay an offensive lineman whose numbers really weren't that great for you? Why would you pay them 13 million per year when you could draft a rookie lineman to replace them and pay them 13 million in the next 4 years? It just depends on how you look at things financially. And plus, this year is a weird year because of COVID still. So they just cut the team salary. So that's why you're seeing a lot more teams actually using the franchise tag because the lack of money from the previous year is now it's coming over into 2021. But with I guess with states opening wide open, hopefully there'll be some type of revenue bought in on these games because sports is a huge revenue stream. People don't realize this. Sports brings in money, but I'm just hoping that they do it safely. But altogether, offensive linemen are expendable. You can find one in a draft. Look at the Giants. Cough, cough. We drafted one in the 6th round. He's now a starting guard for us. So I mean, it just depends on who you get personnel wise, and if it works out for you in the long run for the scheme of the offense.
Thing I disagree with. You said that you said that the New York Giants can pull a person out of the draft, and now he's just starting offensive line.
New-
Do it look like I give him the?
He
Do it look like I
he
give him? No.
he just replaced a Pro Bowler. He replaced a Pro Bowl guard. It's a difference.
Oh, you call it what you want to call it. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear. No, I don't want to.
Gosh.
egg approach. I don't care. I don't care, Cam. I don't care.
Haters are gonna hate. That's all y'all do is hate.
Hey, look, I don't want to talk about this. I'm going to go to a different topic about the franchise tag. I wanted Cam to answer that question. But the MPG, we're going to talk about this. So we talk about offensive tackles and stuff like that. Let's talk about the Chiefs and how they released two of their Cam. There's their guys that they got. One was a first round draft pick, I believe, for the Chiefs. And they released him. Their name, I did not get their names. I know one is, I think it's Fisher, some Fisher. I forgot his name.
Fisher and Schwartz.
Yes, I don't know their first names though. I didn't get that, but they released both of them. But let's talk about this. I'm gonna give it to you, Cam, after I give it to Marcus. But with Patrick Mahomes, seeing what he went through in the Super Bowl, running an average of 500 yards and didn't even throw almost I think they threw a touchdown on the thing. 500 yards, didn't even get a rushing touchdown of running around the field, desperately running for his life. Now releasing two of his top offensive tackles. If they are the problem, they're gone, regardless. Now, how important is it for the Chiefs to now go out? I mean, what can you expect? You had as Cam said, just like the Giants, had a top guy now. Now, their offensive line is having leaks, and it's raining and it's pouring. Now, the Chiefs have some leaks, and it's raining and it's pouring. And now you're in a position where you're like, how do I secure the offensive line again? Because right now they have two guys missing from the offensive line. If they were to start today, they would be going to the practice squad and hoping for the best. So what can they do now to secure a future for Patrick Mahomes? Because if Mahomes don't have any line, we've seen what happened in the Super Bowl. That's the last thing you want to say.
Well, how I look at it is you should. It's important for the Kansas City Chiefs to try and keep those two starters that really help Patrick Mahomes in the long run. And then also, like I mentioned before, it's important for any organization to try and keep that offensive line, because without the offensive line, there's really no help in your team in general. So with the Kansas City Chiefs and their offensive line, I feel like it's important to still keep them, but also add in some more depth into the offensive line position, because as we've seen in many games, offensive line or offensive players in general, they can get hurt at any given time. So with that being said, I just feel like it's important for the Kansas City Chiefs to keep their two offensive starters, their offensive linemen, then go into the draft and really just add in some more depth. That way, if an offensive line or player gets hurt, then it's next man up, and that key player that you drafted can fill in that void and also fill in that rotation spot in order for the Kansas City Chiefs to be that dominant team.
They will try to be a dominant team, but they got a lot of chalk and time to do right now, and looking for the draft to come up in the soon. But Cam, without an offensive line, we just seen teams like Green Bay, we just seen the Giants, we've seen several teams, and that's just to name a few, go through, even the Chiefs, even sometimes the Patriots, go through a lot of hardship without an offensive line. I call them the foundation of almost an organization, because if no offensive line is there, your team is definitely not going to win any games, or it may be 5 and have a losing record. But how do you think not only the Chiefs, but teams around the NFL right now that are dealing with this, I guess, lack of great offensive linemen? I mean, like you said, you can move them around, but I mean, these guys will be in the weight room benching 600 pounds, but they can't push a 200-pound man out the way. What the hell's the issue, Ken?
Well, I wouldn't say that necessarily is the issue. it's all in regard. It's all technique when you get to the professional level. It's, it's not necessarily. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's one person overpowering the next man. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like when it gets to that jump from college to the professional level, it's a technique that you have to perfect in order to really remain on a roster. In regards to the Chiefs, they want to get younger, honestly. Schwartz is like 30, I want to say maybe 34 35. Fisher, same thing, maybe 30 plus years old. They just want to get a younger lineman who can stay healthy. I mean, one had tore his ACL, the other had back issues. They've had I think Schwartz had back issues for a while now. It wasn't just a 1 year thing. So, I mean, they come and go. Like they just want to get younger players, and honestly, everyone's replaceable. And it's a business. Like I don't want to be rude about it, but like when it's your time to go, it's just your time to be replaced because there will always be someone better than you.
Definitely at that, and I understand both of you guys. And one thing about this offensive line thing is these, like you said, technique. I mean, these defensive tackles are not going to cut no slack either when they're coming.
Hmm.
They're trying to make their name for themselves if they already don't have a name. But there's a lot to discuss over the next couple of weeks with what the team's going to do with offensive line, and can the Chiefs' offensive line get back to where they were? Because at one point the Chiefs' offensive line was set, and Mahomes was doing whatever he wanted to do. But now, like the score sheet is flipped, and it's not the Chiefs' defense causing all the havoc. Now, like the offensive line is letting it rain and pour all over Patrick Mahomes, including in the Super Bowl that they should have definitely got something. I mean, it made them the Bucks look that good, but again. But let's get to another topic: the Saints. A long, lengthy conversation that we'll have for a long time right now is like we said last week, we saw Drew Brees pushing his shopping cart of weights across the parking lot. Ooh, I like, but I don't. Now, Cam, I know Cam feels some type of way when I say this, but do you believe Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill are the guys to go to if Breeze was to call quits today?
Russell Wilson. I've I've seen some reports that the Seahawks are now listening to trade offers, and with the Cowboys giving Dak all that money for I don't know what reason, now he only has three teams that he's willing to, waive his no trade clause: the Saints, the Bears, the Raiders. Um, I'm a fan of Jameis Winston. I was a fan of him when he played at Florida State, when he won the national championship, when he played baseball and football, when he got drafted to the Buccaneers. I was a huge fan of Jameis. He just didn't have the best people around him in that system. I don't believe in Taysom Hill. I will tell you, I will wholeheartedly tell you that because when Drew Brees was out that playoff game, they put in Jameis Winston. What does he do? He gets one snap, throws like a 30-yard bomb, 30, 40, 50-yard bomb. That's a touchdown. His only pass of the game. But Taysom Hill does nothing. But that's your starting quarterback, Sean Payton. Nevertheless, if I were the Saints, I didn't want to trade for a quarterback. Jameis Winston, hands down, is in my opinion the best option, especially when you still have one of the best receivers in the league and Michael Thomas is still healthy. And you have one of the best running backs in Alvin Kamara behind one of the best defenses in football right now. So you're kind of in the right place for success, in my opinion. And Sean Payton's definitely a better coach than what was in Tampa Bay before Bruce Arians, for sure.
Definitely, definitely. So MPG, before we go take off to talk about the Titans and Mark Ingram, just tell me why. Not even tell me why. Do you believe that Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, should they leave them? My thing is, I think, like you said, Russell, give him a little bit of, give the Seahawks a little bit of cash. Don't get me wrong. Shop Jameis. I'm sorry. Or I'm sorry, Cam. Shop. Only reason because you can still have that twist in Taysom Hill. You can still give him that twist that they gave it with Drew Brees. That's the only weak reason. I couldn't switch around with Jameis Winston and Russell. I couldn't. No, you're gonna lose a game. I'm sorry, you're gonna lose a game. But I would say shop Jameis. Get him a little bit of bread, maybe a draft pick or two. You have to cough up a couple draft picks. I'm sorry. If you want Russell, you're gonna have to cough up some draft picks. That's the bottom line. But here on out, do you think if Drew Brees say I'm done, should they follow what Cam and I said, go to Russell? Or should they stay with Taysom Hill and James Winston?
I would release Jameis Winston, but still keep Taysom Hill as a backup. Because when you look at Jameis Winston, this is the same quarterback that threw 30-plus touchdowns and also 30 interceptions. And then when you look at Taysom Hill, yes, he has the do-it-all playmaking ability, but still hasn't shown any throwing ability that much in the passing game. But, however, I do believe another good idea for the Saints is go out and draft a QB. A QB like Mac Jones, the quarterback from Alabama. Then alongside you, if you draft a quarterback, of course he's going to be new to the system. You still have Alvin Kamara, your running back, your dual threat running back. Then you also need receivers since the Saints just recently released Emmanuel Sanders. Mm-hmm. So if they just can combine everything together and work efficiently, then I feel like the New Orleans Saints can work out in their favors.
They definitely can. We will see how that goes throughout the season, and we'll get to the season. Will they pick up Russell? Russell got 5 teams looking at him. I think 4 or 5 teams. If I'm wrong, tell me. But I just want to state this. We're not even going to talk about it. Mark Ingram to the Texans. I'm going to let Cam shed some light because I know Cam been a little, not salty, but a little delusional tonight. So I'm trying to get him to get some light and positivity. Hey, Cam, do you think with Mark Ingram coming to Texas, will that keep Watson there?
It's a start. I mean, they still don't have an offensive line. You still traded away the best wide receiver in football to the Cardinals and got nothing in return. So I mean, really, it just depends on what you do free agency wise, and of course in the draft as well. But build something around him. If you want him to really stay, put something that he can actually use. His best receiver is Will Fuller.
Yeah, Mark Ingram will be a dual threat because he would have to be.
But Mark Ingram, the issue with him is he can't catch that well. Like receiver-wise, he's not that great of a receiver. He's a great running back. He'll run you over. But receiving-wise, no, that's what they went with J.K. Dobbins because he could catch the ball. That's the thing. So, I mean, it's a good pickup. Don't get me wrong, because any running back is better than David Johnson, honestly. So, I mean, it's the right move, but you still need a lot more in order to persuade Deshaun Watson to stay and fully commit to Houston. You need a lot more.
Well, we will also see that. But I just want to mention this too, and we just go keep going. But Malcolm Butler released it earlier about the Tennessee Titans. Another crazy release happening. But you know where I want to go next. Everybody know, and that's one of the reasons why nobody's watching, because they're Cowboy fans. They're gonna be so damn delusional. But now for my
Disrespectful.
disrespectfulness, the Cowboys. And you know I gotta go with this, Cam, and watch your screen change. Dallas, who? Who the hell are they? I'll tell you who they are. It's the Dallas Cowboys. And you want to know, somebody don't got my mug. You just have to wait on it. It's getting a personal upgrade, even getting a bigger and better mug. And it's going to say what? Dallas suck on the mug. And it's coming soon. It might even be in the merchandise category. And you can buy that too. You can get that. Damn it, you can get the deeply saddened shirt coming out with the new logo. With your Dallas suck mug. Hell, I'll sign it and send it to you.
I'll sign it.
But that's the bottom line. But I got one thing for you. It's the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott in a scrub. He signed a contract, 4 years, $160 million. And let me tell you this, he got $126 for that dog. He got $126 guaranteed. And on top of that, he got a signing bonus of $66 million.
Yeah.
On top of that, he gets $75 million of that in the first year. On top of that, in the first 3 years, the later, he gets $42 million per year. It's a shame. Is he worth that much? Hell no. He's not. You're telling me that this man is better than Aaron Rodgers? You're telling me this man is better than Tom Brady? You're telling me this man is better than Russell Wilson? You're telling me this man is better than Peyton? All the QBs I just named. I know, damn that, Cam, before you say anything about Dallas Cowboys. And the one thing of the matter is that the damn Dallas Cowboys got to put money in a man like that. And they put money in Tony Romo. And they found the first time they ever did one time was Troy Aikman. And damn, they got that one right. But the next two, they just poured money and now money inside of somebody that's not worth nothing. This man just came off of an injury that most players that we see, they remain injury prone throughout the next coming years. And you're going to just let this man sit up in the top with Jerry Jones if he gets injured and collect cash. And then Jerry Jones, being the owner that he is, stay in the damn press box where he belongs, but he will not. That's the bottom line of it is. He don't know how to keep his checks in his doggone pocket. He don't know how to keep his daughters off the sidelines, but they won't marry the quarterbacks. He just highly too much invested into the team. Even at one point, he said that I think about wanting to leave the team because it's me. Well, hell, it is you. Because ain't nobody else making them kind of decisions to sign a man to a $160 million quarterback contract and get him 126 of it. That's minus $34 million. You know you're going to get that in incentives. He's a scrub. I don't care. No. They have an offensive line. Damn it, they have Ezekiel Elliott, a decent running back, if not great. They have a wide receiving core. They have a good, damn sure good defense that can at least stop somebody in possession. And you talking about they don't have nothing? That's a lie. And one of the things is, I just find it disrespectful to all the QBs in the NFL. And I think everybody should boycott the NFL because the fact everybody's not even playing Dallas Cowboys because they just want to do whatever the hell they want to do anyway. But no, Cam. You know how I got to do because I don't like the doggone Dallas Cowboys. I hate them. Well, yeah. You can tell they don't hate nobody, but no. I don't know. My lady's a Cowboys fan. I don't know how the hell that works. But I got a lot of family members that are Cowboys fans, and I wouldn't watch the show either because you know the fact that I'm coming out of the Dallas Cowboys because they ain't gonna sit there and give somebody that much money. And no, the damn stadium cost $650 million. I mean, and that was half of the bill, and you gave him almost 10%. I'm just saying. But Cam, tell me, do you think this was good or bogus when it comes to
I mean,
Dallas Cowboys?
it was a good move because that just
You think it was good?
tells. Listen,
You no, 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 no. No,
let me
no. I
explain.
don't think you heard me
Let me
right, Cam.
finish.
I think that Clemson stuff is in your ears, and I
Let
think you might be halfway a Dallas Cowboy fan, if I'm not wrong. I mean, the only good thing I see in your camera is that Yankees hat sitting on your head, but I mean, yeah, I know what's in your earbud because it could be Dallas Cowboys. It could be your uncle over there talking in your ear. I'm not for sure, but I know one thing. You know, don't you say that. It's not
let
good.
me finish. Let me finish.
I'll
It
let you finish.
is a good signing in regards to the future of the Cowboys quarterback situation. At least you know who's your quarterback the next 4 or 5 years.
That's the only thing they know. They just know a name of Dak
Is
Prescott.
it a good signing in regards to from the financial standpoint? I don't think so. I really don't. Because with that type of money, for some odd reason, we just expect for them to live up to that type of money. And a lot of people don't. For example, Michael Irvin, for some odd reason, wants to come out and say that Dak Prescott is just as good as Tom Brady.
And
And
who's ours?
and maybe in playing goldfish, but not on the football field. I'm sorry, no, I'm not.
Uh,
I can't put somebody in that same category as someone like Tom Brady when you haven't made it out of the NFC as a whole. Like you can't be put in that category. But I
you
mean,
get what game?
it's a good signing because your backup is Andy Dalton. Then
Who
his backup, exactly, the Cowboys' backup was Andy Dalton.
the same man that went into the Redskins? I mean, the Washington football team's game and got his block knocked off and didn't play a
Yes,
single game after that.
yes, yes. That was their next option. But guess what? Dak was and is still the heart and the soul of that team. He
Or
he he is their leader. Like I'm not making any excuses for like what happened this previous year for the Cowgirls, but I mean he was out. It was their division to win last year. Don't tell me it wasn't because we were trash. Even if we had Saquon, we weren't gonna do anything this past year.
you want to know something? I don't even think Dallas could have got past the Washington football team and Tyler Heineke. But that's how much I think about him because that man played lights out against Tampa Bay, even though they lost the game. I think he would have walked the Cowboys and said, "Get done with them." On to the next one. That's a good song. But anyway, Cam, I'm gonna give it to NBA. But before we NBA topics, so we got NBA breakdown, and I got a lot to talk about there. But well, not really a lot, a little in Cam Brooklyn now. But do you think that Cowboys finalizing that deal is a long time coming, and he knows, but no change from the come. 4 years, 160, 130 something. What did I say? 126 guaranteed. Do you think it was smart for the Cowboys, or should they just move the hell along?
I feel like I feel like it was. I feel like this move was a mixture of both. It was only good because with a QB like that Prescott, he's your franchise QB for the Dallas Cowboys for a reason. He really like took that step and took that void of being your leader of Cowboys Nation and just showing that leadership and that heart and that desire of that Cowboys team. But financially, it almost reminds me of the Joe Flacco effect. After he won the Super Bowl, he got paid all that money, but once he
Did
got
nothing.
paid all that money,
Did nothing.
certain players from that team got shipped out
Yep.
because it wasn't getting the exact or proper deals that they wanted in order for them to stay. So when I look at that deal with Dak Prescott, it just makes you question like with that much money that he's getting, amongst him, is there any key players that's still going to be with the team, or is they going to go?
Yeah.
I think they're going to probably go because that's what a lot of teams are running into now with cap space being limited. People are
Exactly.
taking breaks. Look at the Pittsburgh Steelers; they're almost falling apart. Even being is trying to take a pay cut to get them on board. That's what happens when you pay a sloppy QB a lot of money for no productivity. At least win a damn game in the playoffs. I mean something. I mean, I wish I could get paid that much just for taking the team to the last game of the season. I'm just saying. That's exactly what it is. I mean, it was Dallas's. It really was like Cam said. Dallas year should have been. This should have been their season to come out there. I mean, everybody had a losing record, no doubt in my mind. Not knocking nobody's team, Cam, but they should, could have, should have, and they should. That's what it is. It's not even should. They should have beat everyone in their division with the talent that they have, with the Giants going through their issues, with the Eagles going through their quarterback controversy, and not having a QB and Wentz until the end of the year, getting hurt to come in, and not even that. You got to think about Washington. They went through quarterback injury, and so they brought Tyler Heineke in. He lived up to the hype for a season.
But with but with but when you look at the Washington football team, though, even though they had QB issues, you still can't deny the Washington football team's defense. They was really
Yeah.
that of just getting to where they need to be in the playoffs.
I think, but even though if you did that, Dallas would have found a way in the kicking game. I think field goals come to this. And when I tell you field goals are important, that's why you need a kicker that gets paid money to actually kick them field goals, and that's all we do for his job. I wish I get paid $1 million to go throw boxes to Amazon, but that don't happen. But yeah, that breakdown, NFL breakdown. But now we about to go to NBA breakdown. That's going on now. We got a lot. Not really a lot. A little to cover this week for NBA as leagues, like Cam said earlier, kicking off to their second half after this All Star thing. We see how, oh yeah, Cam, Damian Lillard came out there in the All Star game and said, bye bye to the other team and sent them home packing. And then, did that prove to you anything, Cam? Then in the All Star game, when Curry came across half court, tried to make the shot, couldn't cash the check, it bounced. And then Damian Lillard came across the court and said, bye bye. And even the Curry said, I'll see you later. We out. Peace. And that was the closer of the All Star game. And that was nice. That was nice. The game was actually decent. It wasn't just a bunch of playing around, but you're actually seeing somebody actually being competitive.
Can I be honest with you? I didn't watch that mess.
It was,
I
it was
I refused to watch that. I'm sorry.
it's a joke regardless, but
It's,
I wish it would go back to the old realm that they had. All the All Star games would go back to what they used to be. Because if you look at the NBA, I mean NFL, Lawrence Taylor era, all that stuff, they used to take each other's block off in the game because that was
yeah.
all the greats playing. I mean, you ain't got no more games. Well,
Back in the day, it was vicious.
NBA wise, you got more games. You got the second half, so you can't play out. But NFL, Pro Bowl, you ain't got nobody that you ain't got nothing to do after that game. You knock each other's
What
block
they
off.
what they need to do, to be honest with you, they need to do it like uh, baseball does it, and you're actually playing for home field advantage for the championship
That makes sense.
series. That's how the NBA needs to do it. So at least you have people actually being competitive, and it's not a daggone dunk contest and a 3 point contest. I don't know. I don't get excited by watching All Star. It's just a slight break from either a very successful season or a season full of agony. It depends on what team you're rooting for.
Well, I definitely can tell you one thing, Cam. The dunk contest was you could have missed it in a good way. You need to miss it. Cover your eyes, cover your ears. It
Well, once
wasn't.
they said it was going to be at halftime, I said, "There's no way possible I'm gonna watch this
It was.
nonsense."
Somebody dunked over their dad's head, and he was tall. Congratulations. Somebody went
Congratulations.
dunked, and I'm like, the basics. Nobody like. I didn't even understand it because the way they judged it was like the two people did the same damn dunk.
Yeah.
When he wasn't so creative. The dunk contest used to be creativity.
There is no creativity anymore. It's
Nobody
all copycat.
enjoyed a dunk contest. When he fucking soared through from half court all the way he soared through the air, glided, and made a dunk. Nobody can reenact that because nobody want to put that much effort. And I would watch something like that if they
Nope.
actually had it where it was solely not just halftime. It was you take the damn 3-point contest, put it at halftime. Put something like that, skills test at halftime. That's some fun family activity BS. But put the dunk contest at the beginning. So you get me rounded up for the All-Star game. You had me quiet. I'm ready to go to sleep. I had
Ready to
bad
go to sleep.
I had smelling salt in my eye.
And then also on top of the slam dunk contest, when you have, I feel like if Zach Levine and Aaron Gordon was both in the slam dunk contest together, it would be way much better than them two opting out of the slam dunk contest and just focusing on the All-Star game. I feel like that would have made a huge difference.
All the difference in what we all three just said was trash. I should have said NBA trash on your Cam. I think that could have been good.
NBA trash.
But Blake Griffin to the Nets. I just want to shed Marcus. I'm going to let Cam refer on this, and then I'm going to move on. Because I know if I get into a rant, it will be another 5 minutes. But Cam. Old Cam. I wish I had that still up. Cam, old Cam. It's like, I would say, no. I would just say Blake Griffin to the Brooklyn Nets is all it is, Cam. And you can shed light on it during your Cam's Corner with your delusional self. I'll let you do that in Cam's Corner later on. But let's talk about LaMarcus. How do you say it last name?
Aldridge.
You know I butcher names. Names like steak in the kitchen. It's not good. But he parted ways with the Spurs peacefully, in a good way for them. And then Myers, how you say his other name?
Leonard.
You know I butcher names like shrimp.
I butcher names like shrimp.
But let's talk about this. So the world in 2021 is so damn sensitive that this man, grown man, I couldn't say the words. PG-13. I just said enough words during my time on the show.
Keep it PG.
But this grown man can't even play a damn video game and call somebody a bastard or something without getting suspended. Are you kidding me? So when we're free of speech and all that BS, rip the Constitution up is over. Call it ball game. But Bill of Rights, whatever the hell you want to call it, Cam. History's been fake the whole time anyway. But you telling me this man gets fined $50,000 for 7 days in suspension? He can't even come to the damn arena all because he said some words. He didn't say no racist words. He just said he called this man like you can go watch on ESPN. I'm not gonna say it. But Cam, this man gets normal, what I consider normal video game rage. It happens. How many athletes have been in the world? Damn, how many normal people of high fashion or high profile has been on a video game? Hell, look at Marshawn Lynch in the actual game for the NBA and NFL Pro Bowl. Look at him and the words that he flared up on the screen.
Wow.
And you will go after this man? Are you kidding me? There might be more madness to this. But can you enlighten me on what the hell just happened?
He got caught in an event where he just got upset. I mean, I'm not saying what he did was right. I'm not saying what he said is right. He just got pissed at a video game, which we all do. I mean, I grew up in the Xbox era, so those Xbox Live, like game chats were toxic. They were very, very racist. I will say that it was bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I grew up in that era. I'm not saying I support it. It was just when I hear someone like rage and say something like that, I'm not saying I'm surprised. It's just like, oh, you're mad. I get it. I 100% understand that you're upset, but you also have to understand when you're a professional athlete, you can't do certain things, you can't say certain things because you are, in fact, above everybody else because of your stature, because of your status. I mean, so all in all, he shouldn't have said it. He was in the wrong. I'm glad Julian Edelman called him out on it because he called Nick Cannon out when he said what he said. So it's no black and white thing. It's no wrong is wrong, which I'm happy about that. But all in all, he's guilty, and hopefully
So
he'll learn his lesson.
the one good thing is we got 5 minutes left. We're trying to end the show in an hour today, and no little, no less. But one thing is, Marcus, and I get to ask Cam, but Cam, do you think? Just tell me yes or no. $50,000 in a 7-day suspension, was that a justified punishment, or you should,
No,
okay? So Marcus, tell me this: you didn't heard the story, and when I first heard it come out, I thought he said only I can imagine what words I thought he could have said. But I'm just like, it's a grown man. You're playing a game. Anybody from Cam playing Call of Duty to me playing Madden, you've heard a bunch of words. But we're grown man playing a game. I mean,
But
you
it's
get
like,
upset.
at the end of the day, a video game is a video game. Like,
You don't take. I never heard somebody take it to heart. If me and Cam playing Madden, and I go, Cam, you some, yeah, you can imagine. I never felt that Cam or you would take it serious. We just know it's in the moment. You mad.
it's like I get it. We get frustrated about certain things that takes place within the game, but actually like taking it out on the game and really losing, it's just sad.
You want to know something? One thing I'm gonna say, Cam, if y'all put that much damn time in some BS like that, go watch the George Floyd trial and see what happens in a few days. That's all I got to say. I'm just saying. You want to put that much in a video game argument? Go watch the trial.
It just basically shows like the childish and foolish acts that's being taking place.
It's just the simple fact of our humanity don't know what the hell they want. They'll let a black man get murdered in the street and don't say a damn thing about it, but they'll go out here because a man goes and calls a little kid a bastard. It's a world crime and give him $50,000 and total fines. Get out of my face with that. I don't want to hear that. But let's talk. Tell you a little bit about this, and we will get it to Cam's corner. Duke Blue Devils are out of the ACC tournament, and the season has been deemed over by the AD. COVID, one person has spoke with Cam earlier, one person right now has it, but then you got the whole trace test they got to do to see who else may have it. But that's a huge blow to March Madness, as a lot of fans are Duke Blue Devils, and UNC. We're waiting for them too. But we talk about that, and Cam, you know what time it is, and you know I got to bring it to you. But it's a Cam's corner.
well, first and foremost, I'm pissed. I am completely pissed that Duke was not able to play tonight, bro. When I tell you Duke was one of the hottest teams in the ACC, which isn't saying much right now, but they were one of the hottest teams in the ACC. And I'm not saying we would have beat Florida State, but it would have been a very good game. We were making the right progress in the right direction. I was looking forward to seeing us play for a potential spot in the Big Dance. I wasn't worried about winning the ACC. That wasn't going to happen. I was worried about making a statement. But I will say this, the best part about this, us getting our season canceled, we can actually say COVID is the reason we didn't make the tournament compared to UNC fans last year when they kept saying, oh, COVID ruined our season. No, Y'all came in like 12th place. Y'all lost to Syracuse last year in the opening round, and then COVID hit after y'all lost. Therefore, Syracuse knocked y'all out of the tournament. Y'all didn't have a chance, but Duke did. That's all I got to say.
All you gotta say is about Duke. You don't got nothing else to say.
Nothing at all.
I respect that. But on a more serious note, before we go, we have hit our hour mark, and I said we won't go too much more over and not too much less. But we always do what GGE needs to do, and that's good. But my last thing I want to mention you on a more good note and bring a little bit up here is the update of Tiger Woods via family source that he's doing well. He has had all the necessary surgeries that need to take place and stitches and patches or whatever happened in that car crash that we seen a week ago. Plus, they also released that he should be released from the hospital in less than under 2 weeks. I mean, you see the car, you see the jaws of life, and you see all the surgeries that take place. 2 weeks from now is a really fast time and good for Tiger Woods, and I hope he can do well and come back. But that's the question that we'll have coming up next week: is it even possible? Could he even play golf again with all the injuries and stuff that he can entail from this car crash? But again, that wraps up not only the NFL breakdown, NBA breakdown, and give you a little bit of highlights from college basketball and a little bit of updates from the latest and greatest news around sports in Goode Got Your Entertainment bubble. But from Cam's Corner with Cam Taylor across the screen, Marcus Ojalayo, and I'm your host, Marquez Goode. I'm saying good night, be blessed. Say the rest, guys. We're out. See ya.